Was Grrl there to hear that conversation?
Yeah, I think we were all around. Yeah.
I think so.
Because I think what Grrl would do, and I think she does this kind of on her own. I think she will try, after hearing of Christabelle's concern, I think Grrl will try a divination spell to see if she can pick up some sense of how the hill folk are faring in Smith City.
Okay, are you doing that that evening, or is this a thing you're doing in private later on? Just so you can...
I mean, I think I would act on it fairly quickly. I don't think I mean, I would say like when as soon as we break up on that evening, I think I would go off and try a divination to see what I can pick up.
Cool. So, describe what this involves. Casting your divination. Get the latest news from Mississippi. Is this yet more dancing and drug taking, or is it? Yeah, but give me another picture, and then we'll make the roll.
I mean, I think it actually, it's not dancing. I think it may be involved some drug taking. I think perhaps I get a little associated with Christabelle, some small object that she has touched or that has been around her that I would kind of use as a kind of focus point for the divination, and trying to kind of put myself somehow in touch with the hill folk back at Smith City to see if I can at least pick up some vague sense of what how things are faring for the hill folk back there.
Cool. What sort of thing would that be, do you think? The token of Christabelle. Christabelle, feel free to throw in ideas here too.
I could have.
Yeah, here's what it is. I think it's the slug. I think I kind of sneak back into the to the pet shop where the slug is, and I'm in touch with
Champ.
With Champ. Yep.
Okay.
And using that as some type of
familiar.
conduit. Yes.
Okay. Cool. You are definitely we will come back to the question of whether Christabelle knows and or approves of this later. You're definitely getting +1 column shift to your roll for that. And a +1 column shift to your roll from previously established appropriate herbs you've been collecting. So this will be a
little feathery antenna or like psychic amplifier.
Spells. I need to tell you how much this is. Getting the divination, probably not too expensive, but it's a long way away. I'm kind of, you don't want anything too specific, so I'm going to say it's got a cost of to do this properly. So okay, let's call it a range of let's call it a cost of 2.
Okay.
And don't forget, you're not supposed to take that off. You're supposed to take the cost off before you make the skill.
Correct. And you're giving me 2 column shifts, is that right?
So +2 column shifts to whatever incredible roll.
Okay, so with the 2, I would get a good result.
Good result. Right. The good news is it works, clearly. The bad news is everything else about it, because all the news is terrible. You are assailed by a whole host of visions of places you've seen, places you know, people you met back in Smith City, Highlights include seeing the camps outside the city being broken up, herded off into wagons and sent out away from the city, often encouraged by spear butts of the black-clad militia who you've seen in the camp.
Those would be the Bleeding Hearts?
Yes. You see young men and women being grabbed and abducted by the militia and taken off and forced to train up and join up. Increasing numbers of waves, riders with spears going south and away to the nomad country. And slightly smaller waves of people coming back, bandaged and missing limbs and eyes and things like that. You also see the wagons with the refugees that you've seen cleared away from the city, winding their way through dry desert country that you don't recognise. Probably recognise. And the last thing you see is from a ridge looking down on this trail of refugees and wagons, skeletal feet on the cliff edge and then scrambling away in that direction. Some of this is quite distressing, but I don't think any of it is distressing enough for me to make a sound. I toyed with that idea, but
I think what Grrl would do with this knowledge, I think she would be looking for an opportunity initially to consult Shining Star on this. And I mean, Grrl is afraid that if I just directly pass it on to Christabelle, it would be devastating to Christabelle. So I think I might let Shining Star know about it first to see what do we break the news to her? Do we soften the news?
Well, it's not good to lie to your friends. They find out, or they act on what you told them, and that ends up badly. So
No idea what you're talking about.
So it seems that we really, really, really ought to. We really ought to tell her, but I have to say, I mean, we left, right? I mean, we knew there were things happening. We saw all the components of everything you're talking about underway, and we chose to leave. So, I mean, we kind of have to decide, right? Whether those conflicts are near and dear to us, or whether there's something that individually we can decide to escape. So I guess if I'm going to spin it in any way, that's probably the way I'm going to be talking about it. Really, of all of us, though, I mean, Christabelle's always been the one who said, well, let's just pull up stakes and get out of here and go start a pet shop, right? I mean, that's been her thing all along. So unless there's something really super personal for her, and if it is that personal to her, then I'm going to respect that. Right? I mean, I guess this is where she decides, shop or strife.
Yeah, and I agree with that, and I think what Grrl would want is to say, okay, let's
It is kind of funny. Shining Star and Grrl are both like blunt, ugly truth people. So it's kind of like we say the blunt, ugly truth to each other. The other one goes, yeah. No offense or anything. Yeah, that's really blunt and ugly. I'm on it.
Yeah, I mean, Grrl is okay with that. It's just like, okay, like Christabelle, though, she may not be a blunt, ugly truth kind of girl. So, but yeah, I think Grrl would say, yeah, let's do this. I think maybe we should both be there. And,
yeah, I think so. Yeah. Well,
where have you been? Where do you think you've been when you've been having this conversation?
Where are we having this conversation right now?
Yeah.
Oh, clearly we're out in the woods. I mean, there's no reason not to stroll in the woods together. Alert to pit traps, of course. I might even sort of be,
take your stick.
Yeah, I might even be sort of interested in looking over the area that she was talking about in a not exactly walk out into the middle of it kind of way, but sort of looking around. But perhaps it's time to go back to the pet shop or the Relax-A-Cat, as you quaintly have named it, and go talk to her there.
Were you wanting to make a roll to look for clues?
No, not particularly at this time.
Right, cool. In that case, you can head back, but on your way, you see flying intently towards you a large peacock. Is a peacock not a thing that Americans know about?
Oh, I know all about peacocks.
We know what they are.
The question was, I mean, I was all set for goblin assassins or, were snakes or, the cloud of poison gas, beholders. I was all set for that, but peacock I was not prepared for the image.
Oh, no. It lands in front of you. Big display of feathers and things like that. And announces to you that Puck requires your cooperation.
Why, I would be charmed and honored to have an audience with Puck. Why? Is he looking for an incompetent spy? Is that the idea?
He's looking for someone with the right contact. And
expendable. I hear you.
Time and a place.
Okay. He gives me a time and place. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay then.
And then it struts off into the forest.
Looks like I have a job. Prior to that time when I have to be at that place, let's go talk to Christabelle.
And I guess Grrl would be like, what was that all about?
That was the highly placed Elven Empire surveillance boss who I have failed to impress in the past. So if he's seeking me for some sort of task, I'm pretty sure that I'm the one that they put up front for the false flag or the false operation who's going to get busted while the real spy goes off and does something important. That's kind of what I'm anticipating. But work is work. And who knows? Maybe one of those awesome rolls of yours will rub off, and I will actually do something right one of these days. So, yeah, I should write a song about the
bad spy.
No, I was thinking the song about the person who would bear no resemblance to anyone present, who bowls around and causes unknown amounts of trouble, but keeps getting like awesome successes, right? And then the good-hearted heart of gold, tries her best, good intentions, good actions all the time. Everything always goes wrong. Slightly caricatured from reality in both cases. I'm thinking about that song. Okay, well, anyway, that's so to Christabelle. Should we hold off until next session? Are we about ready?
Oh, yes, we are. I think probably. Robbie, are you off? Cool. So there's a fun couple of conversations coming up next time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Some people might want to roll their inspiration that they got for those wonderful catastrophes. Other people will get 2 bonus inspiration. Everyone gets 2 bonus inspiration.
Okay.
Oh, let's see.
My tame went up.
Oh, phooey, my dodge did not go up.
But you can put them in your base skills, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever they're called.
There's none of those weird funky rolls you get in RuneQuest where you can only change some.
Right.
Put some things up and not others.
Okay.
However, from this point forward, they're all independent, right? I mean, if you bring up your cunning, you don't bring up all the others underneath it.
Yes.
And I'm definitely gonna.
Often they do go down.
I do improve my contacts.
Okay.
Might as well.
I didn't
keep working on that.
My charm did not go up, but I did. I got my control and my divination going up.
Ooh, those are good things to go up. Very good.
Yep.
Yes.
That is good.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, folks, thank you.
Sure thing.